Welcome Loomers, this is Will again from Art by WillScott. In today's tutorial I will be showing you how to create a Diglett. This Diglett was inspired from Evelyn van der Plas design, originally from Instagram. You can be able to check her out. I put the link in the bottom for her original picture, but this is basically based out of her design. I just tweaked it a little bit so that way I can be able to make it a little bit more to my liking on how I feel Diglett looks. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be using camouflage brown, but you can also use cocoa brown or any other brown color that you want for Diglett's body. I'm going to use just two regular pink bands for the nose, or you can use whatever color. I have my body color right here already. And instead of using gray, I'm going to be using camel brown, or caramel, I guess. You can use whatever color you want for the ground part. I'm going to be doing it slightly different. I'm not going to be adding these little nubs after all. I'm just going to do the whole entire thing made to look very big and bulky instead. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. You will need one loom, and you will also need, for the eyes, two beads. You can use either two black bands, one for each eye, or you can go ahead and choose between regular pony beads, and there's also these that I'm going to be using. These are smaller beads, so you can kind of tell the difference between each one. So obviously I'm going to be using the small ones for the eyes because regular pony beads are pretty big. Unless you want your your Diglett to look like that, then that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to be using the two small beads for the eyes. And I will show you how to be able to add those on. Now, to create the pieces for the ground, we're going to be doing two different types of shapes, and they're going to be pretty similar. The first one, you're going to be needing one band, and you're going to start off with one loom, and it's a lot easier if you just have them all on the same exact row. Starting off, you're going to put one starting where your arrows are at, facing down, going downwards. The rest of them will be double bands. So with double band, you're going to go down again, and then double bands again, going from the second peg over to the row right after. Your next one will go down from the second row. And now you're going to go ahead and close it up with two more bands. Again, going right across to create a square. I'm going to add a cap band right here. And it's going to go around 4 times. And once I have it going around 4 times, now I can go ahead and loom it. So I'm going to go in through the cap band, grab the first 2 bands that are available there, and I'm going to loom them over to the side. Going to go back inside the cap band, grab the last 2 bands and loom them up. And now I'm going to go down here, grab the last 2 bands, loom them up. I'm going to go in here now, grab the last 2 bands, loom them to the inside. So now you have your 2 teardrops right there. And now everything's going to be held by this one band. So go ahead and go inside, grab that one band, and put up. And there you have it. So there's one piece. We're going to be needing 3 of these pieces in total. So I already have 2. Go ahead and take it out and hold it onto a side hook. So once you have your 3 pieces, that should be good for one of them, part of the sides. Now we're going to need another different type. This one's also going to be with one band again, starting off. And the rest again will be double bands. So go ahead and grab 2 bands. So 2 bands, and you're going to start off doing it on the second and third peg on the first row. And again, you're going to go across to the next row over. You're going to grab 2 bands again and go down on the second row. And you're going to go ahead and close it up. Now, instead of adding your cap band there, we're going to add yet another row. So go ahead and grab 2 bands again. You're going to go down again on that same row. Grab 2 bands again. You're going to go down on the second row. And now you're going to go ahead and close it up with 2 bands going across. You need 1 band. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, I'm always going to add the band count on the bottom description, okay? Go through your cap band, grab the first 2 bands, and you're going to loom those to the side. Go again through your cap band, grab the last 2 bands, and you're going to loom those up. You're going to go on this side now, loom that up, the last 2 bands. Now you're going to go inside here, grab the first 2 bands, loom that out to the side, and then you're going to grab the 2 bands here, loom those up. You're going to go in here now, grab the last 2 bands and loom that up. And on this one, you're going to grab those 2 bands, loom those to the side. Now you're going to grab that 1 band in the bottom, loom that upwards. Okay. And again, you have to do 3 of these. So we just made 1. I'm going to grab the hook that I had on. And there's my 3 larger ones. And here's my 3 small ones, okay? So you need 3 large and 3 small. And now we're going to start off with the body by taking the middle piece off of our loom. And I need a gap right there. So if you have multiples of these, that can be able to hold it. Unless you only have those 2, then that's totally fine. We're going to need an opening for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pegs. Okay, so I actually don't need this one at all. Should be good with just that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 over here as well. Okay. Next up on the body will be to start adding these as we start progressively connecting everything onto the new body color. So now I'm going to be using the body color. So this is the brown that I'm going to be using. I have all my pieces together, and whatever brown you're using, either if it's from the Camel Pack or if it's Cocoa Brown or if it's Skin Tone Brown, whichever brown you have, then make sure it's different from your ground, okay? Unless you're using gray or black or white, whatever color you want for your rocks to be, or your dirt. Now for this one, I'm going to be adding 2 bands, right? 2 bands onto each of these. But as I'm progressively adding these, we have to make something a little bit different. So actually, hang on, it'll be a lot easier this way. So now that I'm having one of my little pebbles, I'm doing the 3. I have my 3 small ones here and my 3 large ones here. So I'm going to do one of the small ones first. And this one, I'm going to grab that single band that's being held on, and I'm going to wrap it around one more time on my hook. So that way I have 3 rows, 3 loops going on my hook now. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the first 2 onto my double bands. And now this one, I have to wrap it twice also. So now I have to go behind just like that. And I created double. Actually, sorry. So let's go ahead and just do it like this first. That'll probably be a lot easier. Hang on. Totally forgot how I did it. So I'm gonna guess that I'm just gonna go ahead and get these 2 out actually from my hook. Just hold it like that for now. And now wrap these one more time around my hook. So there, now I have 2 bands again. Add these 2 again, and now put those 2 bands on there. So now it's going around 4 times. From here, I'm gonna add this first one. The thing about it is that I want my cap band, the band right here that is going around 4 times, also on this side, right? This one's also going to be hooked onto a different section. and it's always going to be going this way. The way we're going to go is counterclockwise. I'm going to make this my front of my Diglett, and I'm going to make this the back of my Diglett. So this I don't need right now, but I need to go ahead and connect these, and I can still see that cap band right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect these this way. I'm going to go ahead and put these two here, these two here. Right. Okay, and now that the first one has been connected, grab two of the bands. I'm gonna need to zoom in just a little bit. I'm gonna grab that cap band now. Gonna look for the cap band. There it is. Once you have your cap band, grab it from the bottom. It'll be a lot easier that way. Make sure that you have all 4 rows. There we go. So now I have my cap band. Grab my 2 bands, pull it through, and these are going to get connected over here. Put that one here, and then these 2 right there. So now this little pebble is getting stretched out to the side. I'm going to continue going this way. So now the next one we're going to add here. And this time I'm going to grab one of the larger ones, the one that I did with 2 rows. So again, I need to wrap around one of the band sides twice. Grab 2 bands. I'm going to put the first 2 on those 2 body color bands. I'm going to temporarily take this out, wrap this around twice. There we go. So now it's wrapped around twice. Put these back onto it, and now transfer these over to the body ones. And now it's going around 4 times. And there is my cap band right there. So again, I want to do it this way. So I'm going to put in these now here, and this one right here. Alright, there we go. And now again, I need to grab the cap band right here from the back. Go through all 4 of those loops. There we go. Grab my 2 bands, pass them through. Okay. And now I'm going to connect them there we go. We're going to do the same thing again, now with one of the small ones, one of the small pebbles. So again, I'm going to wrap around this twice. Grab my 2 color bands, put the first 2, temporarily take these 2 out, right? Try not to pull them out, and wrap this one now twice. Put these back on and put those on there. There you go, and there's my cap band. So I'm doing it correct. So now this one adds, this one is being added right here. Alright. Now again, I need my 2 bands, because now I'm going to go through that cap band, go around through all 4 loops. There you go. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we have all 6 pegs being used. So now we're going to go across this way. And I need one of the large ones. So I'm going to wrap it around twice. There we go. Grab my 2 bands. Put this on the 2 bands. Temporarily take these out and wrap this around twice. And put these back on. And now we can go ahead and transfer these onto the body bands. Alright. And my cap band is right there, so I need to do it this way. Alright, there we go. Again, grab your 2 body bands. There's my cap band right here. You're gonna go through all 4 loops. There we go. Pass these through. And connect it over here on this side now. Alright. We're almost done. Now I need one of the small ones. And again, this one's gonna wrap around twice. Grab my 2 body bands. Put these on. Temporarily take these off. Wrap this one twice. There we go. Put the body bands back on. And transfer these over. And my cap band is right there, so I'm gonna do it this way. So this one goes here. And these go right here. Right. Grab my 2 body bands. I need to go through the cap band, so go through all 4 loops of that cap. There you go. Your 2 bands. And then connect to the other 2. There we go. Right. Alright, and now finally, we have our final one. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it right here. Put that on. Temporarily take this off. Wrap this end around twice. There we go. Put that back on the hook. And I'll transfer these over. Alright, now last 2, go ahead and go through the cap band, all 4 loops, okay, good. And connect it to the last section here. Okay, alright, cool. Now that we have the entire thing already connected, all 6 of them are set. So again, this is the front of my Diglett. And this will be the back of my Diglett. So it should be looking like so. Make sure that you push these down so we have enough room to be able to add our next row. These rows are going to be set just very basically with 2 bands going across, starting from the front, making my way to the back. Alright, there you go. Now we're going to go ahead and do our first turn. And our first turn, of course, we're going to be flipping over the bottom 4 bands. So you're going to grab the bottom 4 and leave the top 4 behind. And just flip them over to the side. Sorry, to the inside. With these, you're going to flip the little pebble inside. Oops, sorry, let me do that again. not a camera. I'm going to grab the little pebble and flip it over to the inside. Okay. And now I'm going to grab the bottom 4 bands and flip those over as well. And you should have the remainder 4 bands left over. Continue doing that all the way around. When you get to these, just go ahead and flip them over. And then flip over the bottom 4 bands. Flip the pebble over. There we go. Alright, flip the pebble over. Flip the pebble over. This one too. Alright. And there's our first row completed. All our pebbles are now on the inside. They shall stay on the inside because it'll be a lot easier to grow from there. Alright. Now we're going to do row or flip number 2. So let's go ahead and add our next row. And again, we're going to do the same thing. Transfer the bottom 4 bands and flip them over. This should be a lot easier to spot now, from now on, because we don't have to worry about those extra bands. Okay. I'm going to push all my bands down so I have room for my next row. Okay. Now go ahead and flip. down. Okay, now the only reason you can be able to, the only way you can be able to figure out how many more you need, right here on the front of my Diglett, I have this row right here. That should be pretty obvious to you guys. And then I have my row number 2. And then after that, it already has the bottom connection where your pebble is being connected. So far we have 2 rows. We need 5 of these in total before we add our nose. So let's go ahead and create our 3 other rows like that, which means that we need 3 more flips. I think we need 3 more flips. It should be pretty easy from here. Alright, let's go ahead and flip. Whatever is easiest for you, if you have to do it on a table, on a surface, or I like to lift mine up just because I'm standing up. I can't really sit down. Alright. So now we have our 3 rows. Right. So we need 2 more because we need 5 in total. So let's continue. Okay, and go ahead and flip. I'm going to start pushing these up. Because my digger is going to come out upside down. There we go. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 rows already have been created. This will be my next row. And then after that will be the row to add a nose onto. So we are almost done. It's a pretty simple Pokemon to create. It's going to be our 5th row to add on, or to flip over. Go ahead and flip that. continue pushing this out. There we go. All right. So our Diglett is starting to grow out. Now that we have our 5 rows completed, I'm going to grab my 2 pink bands and I'm going to wrap them around my hook 3 times. So there's 1, 2, 3. You should have 6 rows of pink bands for your nose. You're going to add your 2 bands and transfer them over like so. And go ahead and place it at the front of your loom like this to create the beginning of your Diglett's head. The rest will be just normal 2 bands of the body color. So continue adding. Come on. This one's being a little difficult with me. There we go. Alright, now to flip over. By habit, I like to push my bands down after I flip them just for security purposes. That way none of them accidentally fall off while I'm trying to loom. Okay. Alright. Now that the nose row has been done, we're going to create the eye row, and for this one I'm gonna need my 2 beads, or you can go ahead and use a black band. If you're using a black band, just wrap it around your hook 4 times, right? And that creates already an eyeball, and it's going to be basically about the same size for it anyways. And you can just go ahead and transfer this one onto two of your bands and just put it onto the sides. But because I have my beads, I'm going to be using these instead. And I'm going to be using a little wire that I have bent over into a little kind of like V shape, a little U shape. I'm going to add my 2 bands onto those wires, onto the wire. Sometimes it's easier adding them one by one. I'm going to do it right in between. There you go. There's 1. There's 2. And this is going to help me put it into my bead a lot easier. So now I have my bead. Transfer it through and pull. And now I have my bead right in the middle. And now I can take out the wire. You can also use string if that works better for you, or if you don't have wire, or you can use a bobby pin. So the eyeballs are going to go onto the side. So I'm going to add 2 bands of my body color right across where the nose was, and I'm going to add my eyeball onto one side, and do the same thing for the other side. So again, I need my 2 bands, and I need that wire. Go ahead and add them right in the middle. So now they're inserted. Push the bead right through. There we go. And take out the wire. And there's my second eye. We're gonna add that here. Alright. Now that is set, finish off the rest of the rows. And flip. We're going to continue with the last 2 rows, but before we do the last 2 rows, we have to minimize the certain amount of pegs we're using. On this one, what we're going to do is on towards the back, right here, here's my face. So now right here, I'm going to go to the back side. 1, 2, the third one, we're going to try to diminish. So I'm going to grab the bottom 2 bands that are on the third one, okay, and I'm going to flip those over, okay. So that means that now this band is left behind, just those 2, and I'm going to do the same thing right here for this one, okay. So I'm going to grab the bottom 2 for this one also, and flip those over. And now I'm going to transfer this one from the back. I'm going to put it up to the front one right here. Yes, okay. So I just transferred this one from the back to the front one, and you can tell because of course my face is right here. Now I'm going to transfer these on one over, okay? It'll be a lot easier. So I'm going to grab these 4 and I'm going to transfer them over onto this peg now. Be careful when doing this. You don't want any of them to fall. All right. Now grab these, transfer them over. And again, be careful when doing that because you don't want them to fall. We're going to do the same thing on this side now. So again, 1, 2, 3, the third one right here, we're going to grab the bottom 2, we're going to flip those over, and then the next one over to the front, grab the bottom 2, and flip those over, and now transfer the back ones over to the front. And now you're going to transfer these 1 row forward. I need to get in this in a different angle so I can see better. There we go. And now these transfer over. There we go. Alright, cool, perfect. We are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pegs being used on each side, so 10 in total. Now let's go ahead and add our next row of bands. and go ahead and flip over the bottom 4. Okay. We have 1 row left to go and 1 more diminishing to do. Okay. So now if I remember correctly. Yeah. Alright, so now it's the very last one. We're going to flip over the bottom one. Whoops, let me get on camera. The very bottom one from the last row in the back. So there's my front. This is the back of my Diglett. So I'll grab the bottom 2, flip those over, and the bottom 2 from the next one over, and flip those. And now I'm going to transfer this one over to the front. There we go. Okay, and now on this side. Flip over the bottom 2 from here, and flip over the bottom 2 from this one. And transfer the back 2 to the front peg. Okay. That's done. So now we can go ahead and do our last row. Okay. And flip over everything. Well, the bottom 4 from all of them. Okay. Okay, so that was my last row. So now I'm going to go ahead and start closing it off. And the way to do that is I'm going to start from the back with 2 bands. It'll be a lot easier. I'm going to grab the 2, I'm going to grab the one from this side. And I'm going to transfer these, take that out of the peg onto my hook, and grab the 2 bands and transfer them right through, and then reclaim it. Okay, so it's kind of like if you're about to do a slip knot. Now go ahead and put those 2 bands onto the peg you just took out. There we go. So it should be an extension right now like this. Now we're going to go ahead and go on this side, but instead of going from the top, actually, no, yeah, we can go from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out from the top. And now, carefully, you're going to grab the top 2 bands. So pay attention, you're going to grab only the top 2 bands, right? Which should be the ones going this way. And transfer those through all those 4 bands. Now that you have them transferred, put that back onto the peg that was just cleared. And now you have this extension like this. I'm going to go on this side now from the top. I'm going to grab these 4 bands and take them out of the peg. Now that I have them off the peg, I'm going to grab these 2 bands right here, grab them, take them off the peg, and now you're going to transfer those through these 4. You want to do this carefully because you don't want any of them to fall off. Otherwise you will ruin your Diglett, and then just add it on to the one that you just cleared out. I'm going to go on this side now. Instead of going from the top, I'm going to go from the bottom now. And I'm going to grab those 4 bands, take them off the peg, grab these 2 bands, and pull them through. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and put it on the peg I just cleared. Alright, and I'm going to continue doing this all the way until I get to the front. So now on this side, I'm going to go from the top, grab these 2, pull them right through it, and then add it onto that empty peg I just cleared. On the other side, I'm going to go from the bottom, pull that, and then add it onto the peg. And I'm going to go ahead and just finish off this side. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these, grab those 2 bands. I'm going to pull those 2 right through. Okay. And then add it on to one of the pegs here. I'm going to do this side. This is my last one. I'm going to grab these 4, grab the 2 bands, transfer them right through. Okay. And I'm going to grab those 2 bands that I have left on the other peg. And now you're going to slip knot it. So go ahead and slip knot right through, slide it right onto, and then gently pull so that way it tightens. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to break your bands. And for security reasons, I like to add a clip at the end of this. But I'm going to do so after I go in from the bottom of my Diglett and into the top of that hole right in the center. So I want to take out my hook. There we go. So now I'm coming out from the center. I'm going to grab those 2 bands, pull them right through. Alright, so now it's right there. And now right here I can add my clip. So I know it's never going to come apart, and it's going to tighten and let go. Now start shaping your Diglett. You want to go ahead and just do it with your finger by pushing upwards, and then fix your Diglett's nose. And voila! You have a Diglett. I hope you like this tutorial. If you do, go ahead and give me a comment and a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more of these, and look out for more tutorials, okay? Hopefully this was an easy one for a lot of you. I know a lot of you request for easy ones to be created. I like doing a lot of the really hard ones just because they have a lot more detail. But Diglett is a really cute one. This is dedicated to my namesake, to Will Camacho. Hope he likes it. I know that he loves it. This is one of his favorite characters, and to a lot of you that really like this one. And if you want to create a Doug trio, you can always be able to create more in different sizes and just join them together, right? And you can check out more stuff on my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more information, updates, and pictures. And check out the rest of my videos for more Pokemon, for more Mario, and more Mario stuff, and more animals. All right. Thanks you guys for watching, and see you later.